So hello all, I hope you're all well and having a lovely week. So tonight, Middlesex University, London, product design engineering and design engineering. We're excited to host the 17th talk in the annual guest lecture series. So this series runs weekly throughout the academic year on Thursday evenings, bringing together a vibrant mix of speakers from across the full spectrum of design and engineering. We have a mix of leading practitioners, opinion leaders, radical thinkers, and emerging talents to inspire and support your professional development. Tonight, we are excited to host Dr. Ahmed Kassab, industrial design consultant and assistant professor of industrial design at the College of Architecture and Design, EFFAT University in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Dr. Ahmed Kassab is a qualified, experienced, and motivated industrial designer. He has 15 years of experience in the industrial design field across product design, automotive design, furniture design, electrical transformers, home appliance design, and so forth. And he also has 8 years of experience in the consultancy and teaching domains in industrial design as well. Currently, Dr. Ahmed is an assistant professor of industrial design at the College of Architecture and Design in EFFAT University. He's a vice president of the Industrial Design Division as well in the Saudi Umran Society. He's a consultant in the reference committee for the project to develop curriculum standards and the teacher standards for culture and art subjects in public education as well in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He's a consultant in the advisory committee of the product design department at Princess Nourah University. He's a co-founder of the Saudi Industrial Design Week and an industrial design consultant and juror as well. A really impressive CV there as well. As usual, guys, feel free to continue to gather your thoughts, your questions, and your comments in the chat throughout the talk. We'll have Q&A at the end, so there's an option to go live and interact with Dr. Ahmed as well after the main talks. And now over to Dr. Ahmed with a talk titled Design Language for Product Designers. All yours.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for the great introduction, and thank you for having me here. It's a great pleasure, to be honest. So it's about design language. Why I choose this topic? Because it's something really important for design students, product design students. Because after graduation, you will be forced to learn design language in the factories or in the industry. It's something fundamental in the industry. But sometimes in the last couple of few months, I found that many universities around the world did not teach design language as part of the curriculum. That's why my last 3 or 4 topics, talks were about design language. My talk in Saudi Design Festival was about design language. When I met my students in Egypt, I told them that I will do a workshop in design language. So I'm focusing these days in design language. What is design language? When we are going to communicate with each other, we use language. Now I'm speaking English, so I can communicate with all of you, so you can understand me. So the main objective from using language is to communicate. The same here, when we are as product designers going to design a new product, the main purpose is that we need this product to be able to communicate with the customer. What does it mean? I will say something, and I'm sure that it happened with some of you or most of you. Sometimes we went to buy a new product and we found a problem to understand how these products work. Sometimes we force it to open the manual so we can understand how this product works. In other cases, the vice versa happened. We can buy some products and you can be able to use this product without any manual. What happened here in these 2 cases? In the first case, the product failed to communicate with you. And in the second case, the product succeeded in communicating with you. How the products communicate with customers or users using this language? We as a product designers, we need to understand what does design language mean? Because if we designed a product with wrong language, either I will not be able to use it or I will not understand it aslan. First of all, maybe you will see, you will give me a speaker, for example. And because the design language is very bad or very weak, I will not be able to understand that it's a speaker, first of all. Or if I understood that it's a speaker from first look, maybe I will not be able to use it. And it's happened many times with me, especially with home appliances. Kitchen tools, electric kitchen tools, or clothing iron, or vacuum cleaner. Many times I faced products that I can't use until using the manual. طيب, so what is design language? What like in our language we use letters, we use words to explain and to communicate with people. What is the letters and words in design? First of all, let's look at this picture. It's a picture for a building. Does these lines have a meaning? Let's make it up here. Is these lines have a meaning or just a lines? Same here. This building, Burj Khalifa Tower, it's well-known building in Dubai. Why all its line is vertical lines? Is there a purpose from these lines? Here, the same, vertical lines. Here in this shaver, for example, why is this area and this area and this area? Where there is some different layers of materials? Why is this texture? Why is there is an emphasize here? What's the purpose of these lines? Is it just an aesthetics? Here, for example, this car, the new Mercedes S 2021. Why the screen is like this? What is the main purpose of these lines? Is it just a design like an aesthetics to make the product beautiful, or there is a purpose from behind this design? Same here. Same. What is the purpose of this line here? Is it just an aesthetics? Definitely no. Same here. All of these lines. Same. What we are seeing now, some of design or product design students thinking that it's just aesthetics to make the product beautiful or aesthetically appealing. But the fact is, no. It's what we are seeing now. It's more important than the function. And I'm sure yes, that you hear the words that saying design or form follows the function. What does it mean? Form follows the function. If I am designing a mouse, the form must communicate with me that it's a mouse. If I'm designing a car for family, the car language or the design, the form of the car must communicate with me and tell me that I'm a family car. I'm not a luxurious car. I'm not a racing car. So all the lines we saw have a purpose. That's what we are going to understand today. So we said that in language, English language or Arabic or any other language, we have letters, and we have usually we use these letters and combine them together to make words, and we combine these words together to make a meaning to communicate with people. We have the same in design. We have something called design principles and the design elements, and let's start with design elements here. Design elements is the letters of the design language. We have in English A, B, C, D. It's the same here in design. We call it design elements. I will explain later what is design elements. If we used these design elements to make words, these words will be composition, a design composition. But to give this composition a meaning, like a meaning for the word, it will be the design principle. So we will use design elements with a specific design principles to make a composition. So you will have a word with a meaning. What is design elements? If we look to any physical product around us, like chair, bottle, even the studio I'm sitting in now, right now, anything, it's contain of many design elements. So if we did analyze to any space, like let's look here. If we did analysis for this mouse, what is the elements? There is a texture here. There is a color. There is a line. There is a form. So the design elements is dot, line, shape, form, color, texture, and there is many. design elements. We will focus only today about dot and line to make you understand what is design elements and how we are using them to achieve a specific meanings and a specific way of communication. So what is elements of design? Are directly observable components. If we look to any product, any space, the first component you will observe is the design elements, which is the dot line. The table I'm sitting in right now, it's contained of few lines, the material, which is the texture, having a color, having a form. The directly observable components, ingredients, and the physical characteristics of design. So as I said previously, design elements are dot, line, shape, form, texture, color, space, and many other elements. But I will focus today only in dot and line, maybe shape and form, because design language is a very huge subject, and we teach this subject in Egypt in 2 years, 4 semesters. Design language 1, 2, 3, 4. But I wanted today to focus and make it as simple as I can, so you can understand what is design language and you can search further about it. If we opened any video speaking about design process in Audi, Mercedes, Apple, any product design company, you will hear this word, design language, design language. So we said that design language as a language contains of design elements, principles, and we combine them to make design composition with a meaning. What is design composition? Composition is the term used to describe the arrangement of the visual elements. So if we gathered the dots or lines or shape together in a specific way, together it will combine, give us a composition. So this is a composition. What is the principle? It's how the elements of design, line, shape, color, value, let's make a mark here, texture, form, and space, are organized or composed according to principle of design. The principle, we can call it the meaning of the composition. What is the design principles? I will give you some examples here. Hierarchy, the word hierarchy, unity, movement. So I can do a design composition, for example, with lines to achieve movement. If you saw this composition, you will see the composition doing movement. It's illusion. And I can use the same elements, which is the line, to make another composition with the principle emphasize, for example, or rhythm, stability, perspective, proportion, balance. I will read all of them because they are really important, and we will touch many of them in the examples now. Proportions, balance, proximity, harmony, static, dynamic, gravity, repetition, contrast, alignment, pattern, space, variety, scale, direction, tension. All of these are principles. So that means that I can use design elements, which is the dot, for example, or line. I can use line to make a composition giving a meaning of unity. I can use the lines to make a design composition, give a meaning of hierarchy, and so on. So in design language, we have 2 things. We have principles that we can achieve with any elements, and we have another thing, only on lines. So we have dots, lines, shape, form, space, color, texture. We have many elements, but the line is somehow different. The line itself as an element have its own meanings. It's something different than the principle. So we can use the design elements, any of them, and make a specific meaning, which is the principles. And as well, we can use the line to make a specific meanings different than the principle. If we used the vertical lines, as we can see here now, the vertical lines usually give you or represent or give you the meaning of strength, dignity, formality, luxury, sophistication. This is the vertical lines. But the horizontal lines give you always the meaning of relaxation, peace, stability. Diagonal line always give you the meaning of excitement, dynamic, speed. Curved line always giving you the feeling of freedom and the smoothness and softness. Each type of lines will give you a specific meaning. This is something different than the design principles. So I can use the lines to achieve a specific principle like hierarchy, movement, emphasize, or whatever. And as well, I can use them to achieve a meaning like strength, formality, dignity, relaxation, activity, movement. So what does it mean? That means that when designing a product with the line and texture and the color I will use for this product, I can give a specific meanings. So for example, I can design a car and I can make this car give you the feeling of speed and the dynamic and the action. Like what? Like Lamborghini. In Lamborghini, the designer used diagonal lines. Why diagonal lines? To give you the feeling of speed and the movement and action. But if we look to Ferrari as well is car reflecting the speed, but in another direction. Lamborghini reflecting the speed of excitement and the dynamic and the action. This is Lamborghini. But in Ferrari, they are using the curved lines, which reflecting the motion and the harmony and the love and the freedom. So both of them reflecting speed, but Ferrari speed with romantic and Lamborghini speed with excitement and movement. And you can feel this very clear when looking to the two cars. I will give you another examples as well now, right now. So does it mean that really vertical lines and horizontal lines will give these two different meaning in same product? Yes, you will see now. Let's go back. But before going here, let's explain first of all some design compositions. Here. So this is a design composition. This design composition, let's make this here. Yes. Okay. If we look to this design composition, it's using lines, but thick lines. What you will feel from this design composition, if you can remember the principles. First of all, I will ask all of you to capture these principles. Here, let's make here like this. Discard. Yes, here. Please make a screenshot now for these design principles so I can communicate with you easily. I will give you a few seconds. Take a picture with your mobile or make a screenshot for these design principles. This here. Okay, let's go. So if I told all of you what we will feel from this picture, this is a design composition using line, or you can consider it as the rectangles, so it will be shape, but colored shape. What do you feel from this? If we look to the design principles, we will see that this composition reflecting gravity, because it's going like, wait, it's going this direction here. Isn't it? I hope all of you with me. This design composition it will give you the feeling of movement. Nothing move here, but it's a principle achieved by using the lines in a certain way. Here, gravity as well. We can feel that these cubes or squares falling down. Nothing happened here and nothing moved. It's just a feeling you will get from looking to the picture. That means that this design composition achieved the principle gravity. As well, gravity, but this gravity is different because this square make you feel curious. It's contained of two design principles. Gravity, because of these falling boxes, and curiosity. You want to see what's inside this black box. Do you understand what I mean by design composition and principle? So this principle giving you a specific meanings. And this design composition is the perfect practice for all students. So you need to practice very well in this design composition before applying this into products. After explaining all of these design compositions, I will show you some products and how we transfer this language into products. Here, for example, what is the principle here? Perspective. If you remember, in the principles, there is a principle called perspective. Perspective, dignity, you can feel the power here. Yes, sure, Tony. What we can feel from this design composition? Movement. There is a move towards this direction, isn't it? This design composition. Perspective, isn't it? Direction, right? Direction as well, here. Your eye will go directly to the center. Oh, movement and excitement. You will feel excited about what's there, what's far away. It's not only movement, but it's giving you a feeling of excitement because of these diagonal lines. See how different are the meanings by only using few elements in a specific way of a principles. Oh, excitement and the activity. You feel there is something happening here, like it's moving, and you want to see what's happening there. You will feel it like a piece of fabric. We call it motion. The movement in curved line, we call it motion, but in diagonal lines, we call it movement. So if I said movement, that means that it's done by diagonal line. But if this movement done by curved line, it will be called a motion. That's why Ferrari reflects the motion, which is movement by romantic way, but Lamborghini reflecting the speed and the movement with activity and action, because it's diagonal lines. So here, the student or the designer used the curved lines to make a design composition that reflect the motion, movement, and formality. There is some formality here. You will feel like you are going in a way to the dean office or provost office, for example. Formality. There is some formality here, like if you are walking in a road towards something formal. Oh, what does design composition reflect? Please, I want to hear from you, especially with this one, and I will see your answers in the chat. Tell me what this design composition reflecting now from the principles you got. Motion? No, not motion. Rhythm, yes, exactly. There is a big difference between rhythm and the motion and the movement. So it's give a feeling of rhythm. Like the rhythm we see usually in media players. Oh, motion. It's like a river. It's curved line, just the lines. Motion and the harmony. We can feel the harmony here. Contrast, just the contrast, normal contrast. Again, rhythm. Oh, movement. But movement without excitement. Let me explain this. It's really, really important. This movement is without excitement because the lines just vertical and horizontal lines. So you'll feel like your eyes move. But here, this one included excitement. Where is this one? It's more clear. Yes, okay. So this movement, including excitement, you feel excited about what's happening out there at the end of this like tunnel, for example. But this one, just movement. Oh, again, excitement. Imagine with me that this layers is layers of different words. And if you jump it from one to another, you will be in another world. You will feel excitement and curious about what's happening there. It's not a normal movement. It's a movement including excitement and curiosity. Exactly, Tony. Because not only in different directions, diagonal lines give excitement, but vertical lines and the horizontal lines will only give movement with repetition. So repeating vertical and the horizontal lines will give you like here. Only movement. But here, there is a diagonal line. Always diagonal lines give excitement and action and activity feeling. This one is really smart. The designer here used the diagonal line to make two design compositions in one. First one is perspective. Second one is emphasize. Emphasizing on what? In this area, because your eyes will see cube. So your eyes will only focus on this area here. Unintentionally, you will focus in this cube only. That means that the designer here achieved emphasize and perspective. Oh my God. Oh, this one reflecting what? Curiosity. We want to see what's happening after or behind each layer. Do you know this theory of parallel worlds? It's like something reflecting by this composition. Like it's a different worlds or different rooms behind these curtains. It's excitement and you want to see what's happening. There is some activity happening there. Nothing normal, nothing stable. There is activity there. And only by a few lines. This is how design language is really strong. You can do the same product that can make me feel excited about it, and the same product with changing some lines, I will feel poor about it and I don't want to use it. And because design language is something universal, that's how it's the same in all design aspects. For design language, it's design language in product design, interior design, architecture, graphic design. It's same in all. But I'm now focusing in product design. But if I can give an example of interior, I will give you now an example. And I'm sure it's happened with some of you as well. Many times, me as Ahmed, I entered some restaurants and I felt like, I don't know where to sit. Where is the cashier? I don't know. There is something wrong in the design, the circulation. The language here is not right. The designer didn't use the design principles to achieve the right composition for this restaurant. So if he or she understood the design language right, he will do emphasize by design elements on the cashier. So once I enter, I know where is the cashier. And he will do another emphasize on the seating area by only design elements, which is bad. That's share, colors, materials, whatever. I will explain later. This is the beginning of something really big, which is whatever in architecture, interior, product, same in posters. Many times you will see a lot of posters and I will never understand where is this event. Oh, okay, it's a great event, but where? I can't recognize where is the place. When is the time of this event? Because of this poster is not good in hierarchy. If you practice a lot the principal hierarchy in design compositions, you will be very good in applying a hierarchy in your products or in your poster or in your building. Sometimes you use hierarchy in buildings, so you can understand where is the main gate for VIP people or the small gate for normal people. This is hierarchy composition. Here, formal. And you can feel strength as well, like something strong. Movement, repetition, direction. Movement, but not strong movement. Oh, very clear direction. If we can imagine these rectangles or yes, rectangles as a buildings, you will feel strength. It's all about your imagination. By the way, I can present one composition, and each one of you will see it from different perspectives, because you can achieve in one composition more than 2 principles, but maximum, I think maximum 3 or 4 principles. You can't achieve more than 4 principles. So for example, if I showed this design composition for many students, some of them will say strength. If they saw it as or imagined it as buildings behind each other, they will feel strength, or they will feel formality. What is this design composition? I will wait for your answer in the chat. Contrast? No. One word. Emphasize? No. Movement? No. Feeling? Hardly? No. Dynamic and action. Can't you feel the action here? This pole hitting these columns and destroyed them. And we call it dynamic and action because it's like something happening right now, and we just captured it while happening. So yes, it's dynamic and action. There is action happening now. Emphasize. And there is something about emphasize I want to clarify. You can achieve emphasize with changing the form or shape, or using a different texture, or using a different colors. So you can use different techniques to achieve the emphasize. You can achieve emphasize by doing contrast. By using the contrast in the product, you can achieve emphasize to emphasize in a specific area by using contrast, changing colors, and we will see some examples now in products. So this design composition reflecting emphasize. Tension. I will feel tension. I will not be comfortable with this design composition. Repetition. Emphasize, but this one with the changing color and direction. Again, design composition reflecting the emphasize principle by changing the form and color. Again, changing color and direction. So what I have done now, I just presented some design compositions to explain what I mean by principles. Let's see these principles on product. You will love it. Here. Let's go here. Yes. Let's start with this one. If I told anyone who doesn't know what is this building, because if you know this building, it will not make a difference. But for those who doesn't know this building, and if you ask them from this picture, can you imagine what this building could be? When I asked many students, all the answers came around museum, culture center, opera, which is something related to culture. And this feeling came from the using of these lines, curved lines, which reflecting harmony and emotion, and the color. Here, no one doesn't know what is this. It's Khalifa Tower in Dubai, and if you looked at this tower, you will feel one thing: dignity and formality. It's like for only rich people and VIP people. Like here, oh, it's really reflecting dignity and formality and luxury. Why? By using one element, vertical lines. Here, all of these vertical lines. Do you remember when I told you vertical lines reflecting strength and formality and dignity? here. It's in architecture. And one time in one of the lecture, I got a very smart question, and I will tell you what is this now. Here in this building, it's just a composition of vertical lines. That's why we feel dignity and formality and by the way, any building related to government in any country, you will feel by dignity and formality because the high columns, it's vertical lines. So the designer want to give you this feeling of fear and feeling that it's huge and dignity and formality building by only vertical lines, doing vertical lines by columns or by the facade outside like this tower, for example. I will tell you now what is the smart question I got from these students. This student told me there is many horizontal lines here. What is the purpose of it? Can you see this? There is many horizontal lines, isn't it? Why? I'm now doing a building, and this building only for VIP people and for rich people and Khalifa Tower, no one didn't know it. Khalifa Tower is reflecting dignity and luxurious and sophistication. So what is the purpose of using these horizontal lines with vertical lines? Khalas, we know now that vertical lines will give me the feeling of strength and dignity and formality. So what is the need of horizontal lines? Stability. So if you didn't see this horizontal line in this building, you will never enter this building. Didn't you, all of you, feel someday with some buildings that you are afraid to enter this building and you don't know why, what is the reason? Because this building did not give you the feel of stability. So unconsciously, you feel like if you enter this building, it will collapse over you. Same here. Everyone loves Burj Khalifa. Everyone loves to enter Burj Khalifa. But you don't know what is the reason of design language of this tower. If this horizontal lines not exist, no one, especially with this high skyscrapers, you will never enter this building because you will feel like it will collapse over you. There is no feeling of stability. So repeating this horizontal line gives you the feeling it's stable. It's part of the earth, so it will never move. It's really something fully psychological, but this is the beauty of design language. And you can see around you, walk in the street and start to analyze and make analysis all the buildings. You will feel like, yes, you are right, Tony. But now I'm talking about not about the structure. For sure, the structure must be very strong. But we as a customers, as a users, as a normal people, we affect by looking to things. If this thing language is not right, we'll be affected negatively, and we will not be able to enter this building. Let me give you a more strong examples. Here, this is a shaver. If I give any of you, male or female, this shaver, you will be able to use it. You will be easily recognize how to turn it on or off, and from where you can start the motor trimming. Why it's easy to use? Why everyone can understand it? Because the designer used the design principle emphasize. He did this layer of material, extrude up, and then he did this layer of black material, another emphasize. He did 3 emphasizes by doing this form. Why he did this? A lot of emphasizing to make your eye go towards this area. There is something important here. All the functions are here. The designer want to take your eye especially to this area. Okay, but this area have 2 functions. That's why he made a different 2 emphasizes inside the one big emphasize. Here, one emphasize by the way, this button is like this. It's going like this. To tell you, there is a button here you can use to turn it on or off. And this texture, he used this texture to emphasize on, like you will put your thumb here to start making the shaving. So everyone, and of course, this led doing emphasize as a feedback for the speed, or maybe for battery. So The designer used here the design language to make you understand the product. And for sure, this area is separated as a different emphasis for the functional area up there. Let's see more interesting. Please, all of you, focus really carefully with me, because I will present something maybe most of you never noticed before. This is the S-Class, the new S-Class. And if all of you following very well with Mercedes-Benz, you will know for sure that when Mercedes-Benz announced about the S-Class, the new S-Class, they announced about two new cars, the normal S-Class and the Maybach S-Class. What's the difference? Maybach is more sophistication and more luxurious. Both of them for rich people, but the Maybach version is for more sophistication and more luxurious. This is the only difference, okay? Look what's happening here. First of all, when Mercedes-Benz released this car for the first time, they wanted to make you feel like that the screen is the most important thing in this car. That's why the designer makes this screen here not part of the dashboard. This dashboard, the screen not anymore part of this dashboard. What the designer did, the designer made the screen, he moved the screen towards you more. It's like doing emphasize by form. He make it more appear to you. It's emphasizing. That's why anyone will look to this picture, the first thing your eye will catch is this screen, because he did emphasize here. And unintentionally you will feel like, oh, everything will happen through this screen. No one told you this. It's a feeling came from you from doing this design principle. This is another a picture, again, for the same car. Still, I have something to explain about the previous pictures, but I will come to it later. This is the S-Class. By the way, this car is very high. I'm talking about the height of the car. But if you see this car, if you looked at this car on the street, you will feel it's very low car and it's stable. But if you saw it beside any off-road car, you will be surprised. It's really high. It's not like normal sedan. No, it's high sedan. But why? By looking at it alone, I felt like it's stable. Yeah, I mean, you will never notice that it's high car until you will see it beside off-road car. You will see it's like almost the same height. But looking at it alone, you will feel it's stable and it's low. Why? Because of one line here. This line, we call it cat line, catwalk line in automotive design. What does this line did? This is what, first of all, this is a horizontal line. Do you remember what I told you about horizontal lines? Horizontal lines give the feeling of stability and peaceful. So by looking of this car, you feel it's stable. Maybe it's not stable, but I cheated you by this design language. Yes, designers are very good in cheating by design language. It will give you a feeling that it's not exist. I don't mean that it's not exist in this car, but I'm telling you, every car doing a specific language to give you a specific feelings, regardless of this feelings is right or wrong. The Mercedes-Benz, this S-Class especially, is very huge car. And they wanted to give you the feeling like it's huge, but it's stable. That's why nothing on the side except this horizontal line. What else? Here. This line gave you the feeling of aggressive looking because it's luxurious car. If I will, I hope one day, inshallah, if I imagine that I am the owner of this car, I will have, I will love to see these feelings in people's eyes, like, I'm rich man. You have to be afraid of me. I'm giving you this feeling by my car. I'm aggressive. Only by this. So look to my eyes. This shape, same in the car, achieved in the LED light here. Only one line will give you like, oh, this car is aggressive. Look to you like this. Look to the car here. I will remove these lines now. Here. Look again to the car. It's giving you like this. Looking to you and moving forward like this. I'm a strong car. How did you feel that? only by this line. Here, the rear of the car. This V shape, do you remember what we said about diagonal lines? Diagonal lines give you the feeling of movement and the excitement. So the designer did the rear of the car with this V shape, so it will give you a dynamic push. So you'll feel that this car is ready to go, and a speed car. Usually, the luxury cars give us only the feeling of luxurious, but not speed, like Rolls-Royce, for example. Rolls-Royce will never give you the feeling of speed, only feeling of luxury and sophisticated luxury. But speed, no. But here in Mercedes-Benz, they wanted to give you these two feelings, luxury and the speed. How? Only by very simple line. And if you looked at this car in the reality, you will feel the same. You will feel like the car doing like this, ready to go with this I Pro in the front and the rear, this dynamic push with these two dynamic lines, giving the car push to forward. Again, here, I will tell you something really strange. This is the normal S-Class, and this is the Maybach version. You will notice something really funny about the grille. Here's the grille, which is this, horizontal lines, but the luxurious one grille, vertical lines. Is that easy? Yes. Guys, design language is something really easy. But the problem is that many students doesn't know about it. But it's really easy and it's really impressive. You will feel, yes, I got this meaning, but I don't know why, because of the design language. I will show you something more strange. Let's go back here. You know, this interior is for S-Class. Look closely to this interior. This is S-Class, by the way, okay? Look to these lines. Horizontal lines to give you the feelings of peaceful and stability. It's S-Class, and it's luxury anyway. But the Maybach is sophisticated luxury. Look to the interior for the Maybach version. Sorry. This is the normal S-Class version, and this is the Maybach version. Vertical lines. See? And believe me, you will not understand the effect of these simple lines until you sit in the car. You will sit in the two cars, same car, but in one of them you will feel like, I'm the king. And in the other one, the S-Class, you will feel, I'm rich man. I'm normal niche man, which is S-Class. I'm very rich. But in the Maybach, you will feel, I'm a king. Sophisticated luxury, giving you strength and dignity and formality by small vertical lines. See how it's happening here? That's why I presented the compositions in a composition first, so you can understand how simple it is. Vertical lines give you the feeling of formality and dignity, but if you applied it in products, it's really, that's happening. Here, Mercedes-Benz. Who is better than Mercedes-Benz in the entire world in design language? No one. And by the way, I can't say Apple, because Apple using minimal design language, and minimal is not a design language. That's why I get very angry with my students when they told me we need to, I want to do minimal design language. Learn the first of all design language and then do the minimal one. So, so let's move this. Can you see the difference? Same car, same interior, but these lines are, and search in Google, S-Class, Maybach interior, S-Class interior. You will find these pictures. Some people will ask why this line here are vertical and these lines here are horizontal. Because this is, we call it design language. In the S-Class, we want to give a feeling of peaceful and calmness, as I explained in the meaning of lines. But in vertical lines, dignity and formality. I hope all of you know what is the meaning of word dignity, like dignity, greatness. Here's Maybach. And as I told you, or as I show you, not only the interior, even the exterior, the grille. Here's the grille, horizontal lines, and the Maybach vertical lines. Here, again, to design language. If we zoomed here to this remote control, we will find emphasize. The designers want to tell you what is the most important buttons here. Because this one is really important because it's to turn it on or off. It's really important button. That's why it's colored by orange here, as well as this one. It's colored by orange. And you will find 3 types of emphasize here. This one, and this one, and this one. And what you will feel from looking to this remote control is reflecting the understanding of the product. So if you feel that the most important part is the part in the middle, which is this one, that means that the designer succeeded in achieving the hierarchy. What does it mean by hierarchy in this product? Hierarchy mean like, yes, the remote control is really important, but where is the most, or where is the buttons that I will use the most? So usually in remote control, there is a very important button, which is on or off. But what's come after in hierarchy, the menu and directions. When it moving the channels, that's why it's usually it's emphasized is circular or something big like here in the picture, because you will mainly use this area only. That's why there is a big emphasis here. So guys, design language is really important. Here, let's go and see some pictures. I gathered for you here. But before going to the pictures, I want to tell you something. So now we understand, like in the same composition, with vertical lines, I can give you the feeling of strength. And with horizontal lines, I can give you the feeling of stability. Same lines here. With diagonal lines, I can give you the feeling of movement. With diagonal lines, you must practice this design compositions a lot, so you can really drink it, understand it deeply from your heart, and you will feel it while designing a product that I know what to do because I did it many times in design compositions. Practice a lot, make design composition with one element, for example, circles, and tell yourself, I want to do emphasize. Khalas, this one I will make it here. Khalas. Directly, your eye will go to the triangle. So let's go and see some products here. Okay. None of these products I know about it. Yeah, like for example, I don't know what this product is, but I just gathered some pictures to discuss with you. Here, regardless what is this product is, it's very clear that this area is the main area of function and how to power it and how to turn the Bluetooth on. It's very clear. Here, this is a cutter. It's impossible to give it to someone and they will not be able to use it. There is an emphasis or in where you will put your thumb by texture and color. Here. Look, guys, please focus with me in this second. These 3 or different layers or different colors is not aesthetics. Yes, we call it aesthetics, but as I said, form follows the function. So this form or this aesthetics done in that way to help achieving the function. So if you used a product and you feel like, I don't know how to use it from the first use, that means that there is a problem in the design language. Again, the same cutter. Screwdriver, electric screwdriver. It's impossible not to know how to use it or hold it. It's form telling you that it will be hold from here, and here is the function. Turn it on and off. It's very clear. How? By design language. Doing emphasize the form here in this area. Doing this. It's emphasize. Making this color inside. Let's clear this to explain to you more clear. See this color inside? We call it feedback. So you know that it's now turn it off. And if it's green, it's turn it on. We call it feedback in product design. I don't know what this product is, but it's very clear to me that these two buttons are the most important ones, this one. There is a big emphasis here. And the hierarchy is clear that these buttons are the most important. And this one, secondary. Here. Many of you will see that this area is just a good form. No, it's just not about making good form. There is a purpose here to make you focus more on these buttons. It's directing your eyes, directing your consciousness towards this area, specific area. So you will really quickly understand. And for example, why these buttons with this side, but this one is with size? It's about hierarchy of the functions. Which is more important, the look or the play and pause? Of course, play and pause. It's a Walkman. We call it hierarchy. What does it mean by hierarchy? What is the more important? Because each product have many functions. Like for example, here, let's look for this one. It's including many functions: stop, play, pause, forward, backward, and look. Which is more important? The ones that relate to play of the music. But the look, I will not use it each moment, like pause and play and forward. So there is a hierarchy of the functions, and you will be very good designers if you achieve the hierarchy principle in your product. I don't know what this product is. I really don't know. But I know one thing, that this is the main two areas. Very clear. Here. It's not just making these two layers, it's not just a form. It's form following the function, achieving the function, helping you understand the product and its hierarchy and function. Never tell me that no one can be able to use or understand this product. It's very clear. And not because it's simple product, no. The designer made it look simple to you. But many other brands make it really look difficult to use. Here, for example, it's from Apple Watch. Why is this picture? To tell you it's rotating part. It's a language, communication, as I said in the beginning. We use this language to communicate, making this successful communication between product and the customer or user. Speaker, don't tell me I don't know how to turn voice high or low. It's impossible. Yeah, what the designer will do more than this? There is no emphasize bigger than this. Here, it's a different type of emphasizing to tell you there is a function happening here. Regardless, what is this a product? I don't care. Here, for example, do you want to tell me that someone can tell you, I don't know from where to drink? It's impossible. Here, there is emphasized here by this orange rubber piece. This is a really good example. It's including two things, emphasize and hierarchy. Why this one is really bigger than these ones? It doesn't mean that this area is most important, but this area is the most area you will use. We as product designers, we know, for example, if I will look to this mouse, which buttons I will use more, these ones or the ones on the side? Definitely right and left click. So they must be the bigger ones and having all the hierarchy and emphasize. We can notice here, I don't know what is this product, to be honest, but it's clear that this area will have more to do with. It's like all the product directing to this area. It's very clear. Again, I don't know what this product is, but I'm explaining to you the language. And yes, there is another thing. Language is not only about the function, it's about the feelings, like what's happening in the car. What I explained in the car is not related to the function, it's related to what you will feel towards this car. Same here, using this curved line in the out shell or this out body will give you feeling of calmness. So you will love to look to this product, by the way, what I'm presenting now. It's feeling like smooth and calm. Why? Because of using curved lines. If you remember the curved lines, reflecting motion and calmness and the smoothness. Different color means most important function. Emphasize. Here, again, this degree, this layer, different than this layer, not only a form, it's a form following a function because he wants you to focus on this area. Okay. Last, I brought with me an example. One of the students here in the EFFAT product design department, one of the brilliant students, she did this product. It's an iron. And we did a very good practice with this iron. This is the product, first of all. And when she presented to me this product for the first time, I felt, yes, for sure, it's a beautiful product. But I told her, you know, if I will give you, or I will grade you out of 100, I will give you C. 60 out of 100 or 65. She's surprised. Why? I told her because this product failed to communicate with me. If I bought this iron, I don't know, first of all, how to use it, from where to control the temperature, from where to put the water, from where to control the closing type. And I don't know what is this button is. There is nothing, there is no language. Yes, this one is on or off. Okay, it's clear. But what is this one? I don't know. What is this one here? I don't know. What is this ring for? I don't know. And I will assume that this ring is related to controlling the temperature. Clockwise or counterclockwise. And if it's clockwise, for example, at which degree I can achieve 90 or 20? I don't know. I don't know anything. There is no communication, zero communication. Like if I am speaking with a deaf man here, I don't know what is this area. Why is this button is here like this? There is something wrong. What is this? I don't know. There is something wrong. I know she is smiling now. There is something wrong happening here with this product. And you will be surprised by how design language will change this product. So now, khalas, all of us understood now how this product looks like. Design language, there is no language here. It's just a form. Okay, it's a good form, a good... but no. This product will fail in the market from the first day. Let's look how, by applying design language, this product changes. The form is the same, but you will understand it here after. Let's open this one. First of all, here. Oh, okay, it's clear. Here, the materials, silk, or lycra, or whatever, the material. Here's the degree. And not only the material or degree, it's as well giving me the feedback when exactly I can stop, because the first one has no different color or emphasizing in which I can stop. I don't know where I can stop because it's just a ring. Here, there is a small red one. What else? Oh, it's clear now. She achieves the hierarchy. Which is the most important one here? On or off. And what's after? There is a word handle. What does it mean by handle? That means that if I pushed here, I can rotate the handle. Oh, okay, this is something clear now. What else? Here. She wrote steam. I can understand now by using this button, I can turn on the steam. What else? Oh, that means that it's the electricity from here. Okay, what else? Here, pull out the water tank. it's written here with this arrow. Oh, that means, and a language here in the side. Yes, that means that I will put my fingers to pull the tank to put the water. Now there is a communication here. Auto clean. I can understand now that this button is for auto clean. Previously, I don't know. Guys, can you understand what I mean? What is the difference here? It's a big difference here. See? Yes, it's from where to plug in. Here, pull out the water tank. Okay, and here is the sign from where to push to pull. Here, the sign of water tank, and as well, it's become transparent, so I can see the place of the water. Previously, it wasn't transparent, so I can't. I will not put assumptions. I will put water from here or from there. No, you need to tell me as a designer. Here, hierarchy is achieved very good. The left one for handle, the right one for steam, and the big one for on or off. Very clear. Here, after putting the handle on the rotation, I can rotate it. Clear. Here, see? Steam, handle. And this red to give you the feedback if it's on or off, because you might forget and leave it on. But if you saw the feedback, you will know that it's on, so I will turn it off. Attention to details. Details. This one is really important to tell me which degree or which material exactly I choose. And it's not only the arrow, even the material or the degree will be glow with LED light. See the difference between this one and this one? There is a LED light as well as a feedback to tell me, yes, you are now selecting this degree. It's really, really good. See the difference? The two here together. Big difference by applying simple elements of design language. I hope you understood and enjoyed what I said.
Amazing, Dr. Ahmed. That was a fascinating talk on a pertinent topic, design language. And it was great, obviously, to see those examples that you discussed through, obviously, composition, through lines, dots, examples within those as well, alongside, obviously, product examples showing the mapping of elements. You got the hierarchy, you had, contrast, the color emphasis, and so forth. It was a fascinating talk. Thanks for sharing those advices and the theory and the overview of design language for product designers. As usual, guys, feel free to continue to gather your thoughts, your questions, and your comments in the chat throughout. We're going to have Q&A now, and there's also the option to go live and ask your question to Dr. Ahmed in person as well, if you so wish to. Obviously, just put the request through in the chat, and we'll make that happen. First question coming in for yourself, Dr. Ahmed. So the topic was fascinating in terms of, obviously, design language for product designers. Whilst your biography was also really interesting, tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of your journey to the position that you are in today.
I started in the industry in 2004. So now I have an experience in the industry, like we are talking about how many years, like 16 or 15 years in the industry. And by 2012, 2013, I became one of the famous industrial designers in Egypt. And that's allowed me to be invited by the biggest universities in Egypt. And it was my first time to communicate with education field. And I felt very strange feeling, like I love this feeling of doing lecture or giving information or educate students. And that's how I started in 2012 my first teaching role. So I started teaching from 2012, And since that time, I was teaching part-time only Wednesday from each week. And from 2018, it was my first full-time teaching here in EFFAT University. It's an amazing job, alhamdulillah. And yes, I'm still with my industry work. I have my own company. And when I started in my master's and PhD in 2010, I spent like 10 years researching on the topic of innovation and creativity. Because I think in 2010, I found that many research and theses, including fake information. So I wanted to spend more time to discover what is really innovation and the creativity and what is the difference between them. And I spent 10 years, master's and PhD. So I took my master's and PhD in industrial design in the field of creativity and innovation. And especially lateral thinking, how to achieve creativity in industrial design using lateral thinking and to control your mind and the thinking out of the box. And what does it mean by thinking out of the box? What is the box? So I concurred many different roads, and you know, I never went after any role, but it's always come to you by gaining more experience. This is what's beautiful about industrial design. As much as you will gain, as much as you will receive from requests to be juror or consultant or whatever. People always will look for your help. This is something really giving good feeling to help people, help students, help communities and industry.
Amazing. That's brilliant, Dr. Ahmed. And Tony's asking a question in terms of that final design that you are showing on the screen, in terms of the student project of the iron. If you were to further critique this particular design, what would you then improve?
Oh, there's many things. Let me, I will tell you a few. First of all, there is many mistakes in this design, different than the design language. First of all, if I will do improvement here, I will improve on this fillet. I will increase this fillet. This is the first thing, because it's something I use with my hand. I will hang it with my hand here, so it must be comfort. This fillet is not comfort, as I can see and through the experience. Second thing, the bottom of this hand, I will make it with a material that will not slip my hand while using. What else I can do here? On this area, I will make adjustment for height, because I feel this area is narrow somehow. What else? I think these two buttons, I will go with this form. So they will be more obvious for the majority of the customers, and still I will keep the hierarchy of the function. And I will do different material selection, just it, for as a mass customization for different type of customers. I will use some different plastic textures, different types of metals. I will use some minimal designs as well. That's what I can think about only now.
Sure, no, those are really interesting suggestions there as well. And just continuing some of the conversations that are kind of coming through based on this particular iron and the design. What would be some of your thoughts in terms of further consideration of like those design elements you were talking about, alongside things like affordance, mapping, feedback, and readability of those design elements to like minimize some of the written labels on the device?
Let's minimize the level. For this one, look, there is something in industrial design, we call products identity. And in the iron industry, one of the main identity is to use a lot of words, especially in the iron, especially home appliances. So I can't achieve this in this iron, but I can achieve this in different products. Cars, for example. In cars, I will not use words. I will not use the type CD, USB. No, I will make it look, appear, or emphasizing with design language, but not with words. But this one is different because it must include words, because this is the call it the identity of this kind of products. So we are here facing a different case. But if I'm designing a mouse, definitely I will remove all the words, and I will find a way to remove all the words. If I'm designing a car, I will find a way. But in this iron, no, I will keep it like this because it's an iron, and the design identity for home appliances, one of the identities is to use words. It's a must because it's for home.
Amazing. And I think the final question in regards to the iron was a question coming through in terms of the usability and user experience. So where the current materials and temperature is on the upper side of the iron, where the user is facing obviously on the opposite direction, what do you think about the current mapping in that particular orientation?
You mean when I rotate the hand, or like it is now?
Like how it is now. So for example, the materials and the temperature is on that dial, obviously facing towards the front, away from the user.
Look, regarding this design, it's perfect. I can see now the difference between the width up and down. It's very good. It's calculated very good. The material, it's not a problem. You can use the entire iron from metal, and still you can isolate the heat. This is not a problem right now at all. There's many techniques.
I think the student was talking more about the label, you know, the materials, and then silk, lycra, etc., etc. The materials in terms of the material settings that they had at the front of the dial. So, for example, when you were looking at that previous image, and you're looking obviously as you would in point of view in terms of operation, you know, the controls and so forth are facing in the opposite direction. So I think that was the nature of the question there.
No, as I said, now it's I don't know. I really understand the question, but this area now is we call it plugged. What does it mean by plugged? You can't do any improvement. Khalas. It's plugged. Like some students used to come to me and ask me to redesign some products in the market. Some of the products they will choose, I told them that it's plugged. You can't add khalas, yani, this product is plugged. Redesign, make a new design, but you can't make any other editings in this form. This area is plugged. I can't do any kind of improvements in this specific area here.
Amazing.
I don't know if I understood the question right or wrong, but
no, that's totally cool. I think that answers that particular one there. Another one is Kerilus Habash is asking a question in terms of how do you combine good design with product functionality and mechanical parts?
It's a really interesting question. Combining good design with functionality and internal components. Look, I will tell you what's happening in the industry. This will be the perfect answer. Because whatever I will tell you what's happening in industry, you will feel it somehow different than what's happening in the education field. Whatever bias, if it's sad or no, this is the truth. What's happening in the industry, that we're designing the internal components according to the designing of the form. What does it mean? When we, for example, when we started working one day in designing a washing machine for clothes, it was top to end. You know, this top to end closing machine. And we did a totally new design. This design requires a new techniques of fixing the motor inside. So according to the design of the form, which we see as an industrial design, is that it's achieving the design language, and it will give our customers the feelings that we need our customer to feel about and to understand. We used this design, and we redesign the internal components. 90% of the design projects in the industry, the components will be fixed. You can't change them. And you will only redesign the form. And 10%, you will be able to redesign the internal component. So in this 10% case, there is no problem. We will design whatever the form we will feel is right, and we will test that form, and we will make sure that by doing interviews by a big segment of our customers, we will make sure that this form is understandable and will achieve all the language and all the communications we need to achieve. And then we will start manufacturing our internal components. But the difficult part, when we, for example, will go for designing a stove or cookers or fryers in the kitchen, the internal parts for these products is standard. You can't change. So what happened here? Do you remember this design composition I presented at the beginning? We do the same in this kind of industries. We bring these components, and as industrial designers, I can remember one of the stoves, we gathered all the components and we tried to make some different compositions with this stove internal components. And we chose the perfect composition from our perspective, and we tried to achieve the form or designing the form that will achieve the function at its maximum. What does it mean? What's happening in the industry is that we look to the function before the form, and then the form will follow the function. So answering your question, good design with functionality and design language, we start with the functionality. How this product will work? It will work with handle, or it will work by mobile application. What is the components? We will use a chip and battery and motor. We will use a coil of charging. What we will use exactly? We will gather all of these components, and we will do the perfect function scenario. So after doing all the function, like for example, we will gather all the functions in a way that to understand that we will make a screen here, and the charge from this side, and the lock from this side, and the volume control from this side. And we will start overall or above this internal component doing the form that will follow the function. What does it mean by follow the function? That from this form, you will understand how to use all of these functions and features of the product, plus as well the good designs that will give you the right communication. So you will understand from the first use how to use the product. So it's all by practicing and by try and error, by the way. Nothing will come like this from first time. And if you look at videos for Audi or Mercedes-Benz for design processes in the YouTube, you will find something really strange. In the model making, there is a lot of models. Why? It's a testing. Nothing will come right from the first try. And this is what is amazing about industrial design process. It's all about trying and making a lot of sketching, a lot of products, a lot of digital models to test the internal components with the form, with the function, make some samples and give it to the customers. I will end the answer to your question by testing. We do everything, and we do some 3 or 4 prototypes. We call it patch 0. And we give these patches to different customers to test it and make sure that the form is really comfort and the communication in a very good way, and as well the function is achieving to the maximum.
Amazing. Another question coming in from Hannah. How do you think AI will change and impact the product design profession?
Oh, I don't know to say the answer they want to hear, or my honest answer. I really don't know.
Go for a bit of both.
If I will go with the trend, I will tell you this answer. Oh, definitely AI will change how we deal with product design and how we interact with products, and maybe you can replace the industrial designer in the future. But I will tell you my opinion. what is AI? Artificial intelligence. At the end, what is this artificial intelligence become, or how it's become intelligence? It's just a matter of using different patterns of what exists and done by the humans. So who did the resources that AI used? The human. So AI will never all replace product or industrial designers, because as you can see now, there is many websites that you can type some paragraphs explaining a design and it will give you a design. Just something for fun, I'm telling you. It will never replace a product designer. How it will affect the products? We can use it as a product designers. We can use it to improve our user experience. This is something. It will not affect us negatively, but we can use it. So I think AI, because I start doing this with my students already. I think in 2019, we did a smart refrigerator using AI. Last year, we did a smart product using AI, and we use AI to make the function of the product easy to achieve. So I'm seeing AI impact on product design. AI will make our focus more in user experience and design language more than previous, because the entire user experience will depend on user interface, not only hands-on and direct use functions. Yes, I think AI will make the products more beautiful, because we will focus more in the aesthetics more than the functions.
Amazing. A question coming in from Tony regarding minimal design, and when you mentioned that it's not a design principle. So he's asking, do you think it's going to be easier or harder to make a particular design minimal when you consider you have to convey the design principles and the language?
Oh, it will be hard, very hard. And this is something many students will not understand, but they are thinking that because they are minimizing everything, it will be easy. No. Minimal design, I think it's the hardest design language, because by using nothing, you're achieving everything. It's the hardest.
Amazing. Tony follows on talking about form follows function. He asks, would you say form and function carry equal importance and must be designed alongside each other? Or does it change all of the time depending on the industry you're designing for and the product that you're designing?
It's a very good question. Yes, you will work in design form and function together. That's why in design process, in a sketching or ideation phase, or in model making phase, which is a mock-up, presentation model, prototype, and primary models. In each phase, you will do a lot of trials, because you are testing function with form, function with form, function with form. So yes, we go through design process, function and form together. And that's why the form will change many times through the process, because we are testing the form with the function. That's why we are changing the form, improving the form until we achieve the optimum. What does that mean? What does it mean by optimum? The best form with the most easiest function.
Amazing. Another question coming through related to form following function. In which instances will it be appropriate where the form does not follow the function?
If you didn't understand how to use the product from the first look. Or you might understand, but you will not feel comfort with the use.
Amazing. A question from Nadir. Industrial design is like a huge umbrella. It covers a lot of things. Oh no, it's more of a comment than a question, to be honest. As students in this department, how do we discover our passion?
Oh, it's a deep question, Nader. Look, first of all, as a student, you fall in a big mistake by defining your passion without trying. And this is a big mistake. Like, I found many students, oh, I entered the industrial design to design a cars, or I entered the design furniture. Don't narrow yourself from now. You're just a freshman student. Try everything. Design a cars, furniture, home appliances, electronic products, smart products, handicrafts. Try everything, and then you will know your passion. I can remember when I was in first year in industrial design degree, and the industrial design degree in Egypt is 5 years, 10 semesters. In my first year, I was my first reason to join the degree was to design a cars. After the first year, I hated designing cars because I tried many things, and I discovered no, I don't want to design only cars. I want to design everything. And there is two types of designers here. Designers same type as me, like they want to design everything. Like I'm like 15, 16 years in the industry. Say everything, I worked in it. I did, or I worked in everything you can imagine. I worked in designing from pens to electrical enclosures and electrical transformers, home appliances, cars, furniture, everything you can imagine. And there is another type of designers that love to concentrate on one area. Whatever which type you are, you must try everything in the college and give yourself 3 years after graduation. In these 3 years, try everything as well. And then you will discover your passion. You will never be able to discover your passion by sitting in Starbucks and drinking coffee. No, you need to work and do a lot of projects and try a lot of, let's say, design processes. So maybe you'll find yourself love working in model making more than manufacturing, or manufacturing more than ideation, or research more than all of them. So you need to discover yourself in the design process itself and within the different types of products.
Amazing. And I think just adding on what Dr. Ahmed mentioned, I guess the benefit of the industrial design, product design background and course as well is the richness and the diversity of skills and techniques and processes that you learn, including other things as well, like design thinking, the way you can kind of synthesize ideas and so forth, which are more broader and applicable, for example, regardless of which design sector that you want to go to. And it gives you the flexibility to kind of transition as well, within your career. So you don't have to be fixated in one particular kind of area or domain. It's a great question there, Nadir. Dr. Ahmed, what's your favorite design language and principles?
As I mentioned, I love to design all kinds of products using all kinds of design languages. But I can remember when I was a student, my design language, like if I opened my old computer and I looked to all the pictures for all my products that I designed while I was a student, they all having the same language. This means that I had a specific characteristics in my design, but I changed it, alhamdulillah. Now I can design with any language, and this is the right way, not to be like, yes, it depends. Nothing wrong, nothing right. It depends on what do you love. I love to design everything using all design language, and that's what I'm doing now with my students. By the way, I'm not putting my students in a specific area at all. If you look to all my students' projects, you'll find several hundreds of different design language and different types of products. But when I was a student, my design language was only sophisticated luxury and excitement. Only. All my lines was like this. All my lines was sophisticated luxury and excitement. But I think starting from junior 2 to senior 1 and 2, I changed it totally, because I met one instructor who taught me how to be open-minded and try everything, not only stick to one design language.
Amazing. And on that topic as well, how strict are those principles in terms of, for example, when you have motion and rhythm, something which is maybe fluid and moving, sound waves, for example, alongside the motion of the sound waves versus the rhythm of the sound waves. So how much tension is there between the kind of intention that the designer has alongside the kind of embedded narrative and interpretation that maybe the user or the viewer kind of extracts from what you've put there?
Look, I don't think there is a problem using design language, different design languages together, because At the end, I'm not using, for example, emphasize to just do emphasize or doing great. For example, if we will take what you said, the rhythm. If I will use the rhythm as a design language in the product, I will use it to achieve rhythm. What does it mean? By achieving rhythm, that means that I want to use this user to feel by looking to this product. What is rhythm? Rhythm, it's the feel is rhythm is the feeling you will get from listening to music. So if I will apply the rhythm design language to the product, that means that I need you to feel like I will never get bored from this product. I will love to look at it every day. And usually we use it with products that working with sports or music. And achieving rhythm will be by using different materials and textures in one product. And it's usually in the music industry, usually. You will find many different materials and textures to feel the rhythm, to feel like there's something different happening here, and you will love to look at the product every day. But I will not achieve, for example, rhythm in designing a computer mouse. No, in computer mouse, it will be according to the customer. If it's for luxurious, I will use leather, stainless steel. If it's for youth, I will use different type of plastics with different texture. If it's for gaming, I will use LED lighting, and I will use, for example, different contrast of the material, and I will make some extrudes and action. You will never be able to feel that you are strict by design language, because at the end, you are as a designer using it to make the function more clear, just it. So the main purpose at the end is to follow the function.
Amazing. And another question following up on that, in terms of what do you think then is the balance and intersection between the kind of aesthetics and form versus the design elements and the narrative that you're embedding? So like, when do these kind of then and kind of merge? Or when does one maybe supersede the other, perhaps? Or do they always work in harmony?
They must work in harmony. I never saw this intersection as a problem. That's why, especially in the junior studios here, I make the design language the last thing. I focus more on the function and making sure that the internal components fix it very well with the internal architecture, the internal structure of the product from inside, and the product manufacturing-wise will be easy to manufacture. Then I will start thinking about what will happen from outside, the design language. So design language and form, no, it's a smooth process. And you will enjoy it, because after finishing the function and understand, like, this product, for example, is a speaker, and I want to make this speaker working with buttons or with sensors or with gesture control, whatever the function will choose. After that, you will think how to achieve this function with design language that will make you understand this function easily. I think there is no, it's always smooth to achieve, especially if you follow the design process in a proper way.
No, amazing. That's a really interesting answer. And I guess this touches on what Aya is also asking in relation to kind of the strictness and the kind of openness within the design process. So do you think design elements limits creativity at some point?
No, not possible. Why? No. Creativity. What do you mean by creativity? What do you mean by creativity? You mean creativity in function or creativity in form? Creativity in function, no. Do whatever the function you want to do, and you will achieve by using the design elements, the design language that will help the function you did. For example, what do you mean by creativity? The meaning of creativity, first of all, is to use an existing elements and the technologies in a new form that not exist. So make a product very creative. No. Elements will never hold the creativity, because creativity, if you are talking about function creativity, no. Design elements will help you achieve the creativity in form and function. No. There is nothing will hold the creativity at all.
Amazing. So do you see the design elements as a way to kind of communicate and kind of embody both form and function?
Regarding the previous question, by the way, if we will look to this picture, when I worked with this student, let's move this one here. When I worked with this student to improve her product, I didn't change the product. And this product for her was creative thing. So from the perspective of these students, the design language did not affect the creativity. Still, the product is the same from her perspective. So it depends of what is the identification of the creativity for you. So we need to explain first of all the creativity to me, and I can answer probably for you. But regardless, what is the define of the creativity? You will say no. There is no intersection between them. Always using design elements and design language help you achieve more your design.
Amazing. A really good question coming in from Aya again. What if I wanted to design a product to be mysterious and let the user discover how it works? Will this be a poor design?
No. If you looked carefully to the slide I presented, the design principles, there was a principle called curiosity. No, you can achieve the curiosity design principle. So I will feel curious about the product, how it works, from where I can use it. Here, it's something different. I will never be able to know how to use it until I discover it. So it's a design principle called curiosity. But still, you can use design language to achieve this purpose as well.
Amazing. And then in terms of the design language, how much of it is intentional and how much of it is maybe subconscious or embedded within prior knowledge or cultural precedents?
It's a very, very good question. Let's say first of all, if you make good designs that everyone can understand, what does it mean by everyone can understand without reading the manual? Yes, we explained at the beginning that the good design language will make you understand and communicate well with the product, so you can use it without using the manual. What does it mean but using it without using the manual? That intentionally I understood it like by nature, like there is something related to my nature. So that means that the designer must using his intention to design it, not only knowledge. What does it mean? Many times, when I design a product, I don't look about design language. I look about if me as Ahmed, I will use this product, how I would like or how I would love to use it, and I will apply what I imagine into this product. That means that I design in the language, not regarding the design elements and principles that I already explained. No, it's regarding to my nature thinking. We call it intuition or whatever we call it. That's why good design is always intuitive. Like you will know how to use it without anyone telling you.
Amazing. And on that note, actually, perhaps in terms of any resources or frameworks or methods, what frameworks or methods or tools do you recommend in a toolkit for designers in terms of designing for meaning or the design embedding design language? And in the similar process, in terms of reading and deconstructing this meaning and narrative?
Okay, I will tell you something will surprise you. You know that I don't like to use the word design thinking, because what is design thinking? First of all, as industrial designers or product designers, we use something called design process. And this design process including many steps, starting with doing research. And from this research, we will extract the data to came up with the design specifications and design requirements, which is achieving the customer needs. And we will try starting using or achieving these design requirements by doing ideation, by starting with initial sketches. And we will use we will first of all evaluate these initial sketches, and we will start to use the best of them, regardless which one of them will achieve more of these design requirements. And then what we choose from the initial sketches, we will do improvement. We call it improvement sketching stage. And then with this development stage of sketching, we will start doing primary model, which is the first initial stage of models using foam, carton, clay, whatever, very simple material, to test the idea in 3D. And then we will go through the mockup, which is one-to-one scale model. And then we will go to presentation model. Then we will go to the prototype. With the prototype, we will be working in the 3D digital modeling. So there is a design process. So from where this design thinking term came, the people that are not designers found that designers using something called design process, and it always finished with successful product. Always. You can't, that's why we always say trust the process. You will never follow the design process of industrial design and keep up with not good product. It's impossible, because always you evaluate the product, always doing model making and test them with the customers. So it's impossible to come up with unsuccessful product. For the people from these other disciplines like marketing or business or whatever, they wanted to make something will make their business always successful, like what's happening with the designers. So they invented this design thinking. So this design thinking term is made from the design process for non-designers to be successful like designers. But the problem, starting especially from 2010, worldwide, it became used everywhere. Design thinking, guys, design thinking is something invented for non-designers. Not designers already have their design thinking method, which is the design process, the full design process. So coming back to your question, the methodology will be the normal design process. You will start with user research and gathering all your information. And by the way, this information you will gather using the interviews and the ethnographic research, which contains interviews and observation and making surveys with the customers. All this kind of research methods, you will gather a lot of information about functions and aesthetics as well. You will love what these users love to use. You will know what they are loving to use. You will know which materials they like to use, which kind of aesthetics they follow more. So before starting, you will have an idea about which design language and which features and functions the customer need already. So in reality, design process is easy, different than the education. Education, we force students to do everything, full design process and all kind of models, everything. But in the industry, it's different. We have more specific points to work on. For example, if you are going to design a cooker, we have a very specific functions to achieve with a very specific design language to reach. Because we already asked millions of customers and we got gathered their answers. So we know that our new design, the customers expected an excitement design language with stainless steel that reflecting the luxurious feeling, and some emphasize on some new features and blah 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 blah. So it's all about following the normal process and trust the process and do good research. Good research will lead you to a good product, because without good research, you will never be able to know which design language the customer is expecting from you. Because we are not working in the backstage, and we will surprise, like, guys, we don't surprise the customer like, hey, is this a new product? No. Like, for example, the new iPhone each year, it's not something fully new. They tested with millions of customers before releasing it. So, yes.
Amazing. And based on that particular answer, do you recommend any, I guess, academic literature or anything in relation to design elements and design language? Any toolkits or so forth?
Yes, I can recommend, but not tools. I can recommend channels to learn about design language on YouTube. I can send you some links.
Amazing. And then I'll share.
There is some channels in YouTube focusing on this design language very well. two of them, but I can't remember the name. But there is two of them. One related to Sketch Monkey, who always analyzing the cars and speaking about design language of the cars. It's really important to understand how he doing analysis to these cars, and it helps you to use this language in your product as well, because making analysis to anything will make it look more easy to you. And there is another page looking or speaking about the language in the normal day product, not only cars. But there is, I can't say there is a tool or a specific kit, because it's depend on you. And for example, I said now that in my studio I'm making all students starting in design, aesthetics, and language after the function. Maybe someone else will do the opposite. We'll start with a good form and trying to gather all the components inside. The best thing in design is that nothing wrong and nothing right. It depends on your journey. When I explain something, I'm not saying that this is the perfect way. No, I'm saying this is the perfect way for me, for my journey. But you as a product designer, you need to listen carefully to me and take from me what will suit your personality, suits your environment, suits your journey, and learn from everyone. And that's what I used to do when I was a student. I used to learn from everyone and listen to everyone and take what I feel that it suits me. But nothing wrong and nothing right. At the end, you can go to China and they give them the sketch and they can design the products. Nothing difficult now.
Amazing. And another question in relation to, I guess, your postgraduate kind of journey on creativity and innovation. So we've had a few speakers talk about innovation. So I just would be interested to know how you define innovation and the dimensions of innovation.
Yes, in my master's and PhD, I spoke about innovation and invention and the creativity. And I explained the difference. And after explaining the difference, I focused on creativity. And when I can remember when I explained the innovation is about the innovative improvement of products. So I will give you a very good example now. Achieving innovation in product design, that means that you will continuously improving your products and adding new features, new aesthetics, but it will still the same product. But creativity is something different. Creativity is different than innovation. Innovation, we mean by innovation, the innovative improvement, but the product will still the same. For example, what's happening now in the car industry is innovation. There is no creativity. So we are improving our cars, we are developing our cars, new features, new technologies, new materials. It's all innovation. What we mean by creativity? Creativity is gathering existing technologies, existing knowledges to make something you will never recognize by looking at. What does it mean? If you saw the cars right now, it's innovation, like what I said. When it will be creativity, if you saw it and didn't know that it's a car, that means that in that case the car will not work in wheels, not will be with 4 doors. It will be something different, something working with electromagnetic field, flying in the air. The car, the door from the up opening like a space machine. Innovation is something really different than creativity. Creativity is turning the product in a new way that not existed before, but with existing technologies. So we will use the technologies we know, the manufacturing methods we know, the materials we know, but to make the product in a way that never looked like this before. Different than innovation. Innovation, same car, 4 wheels, 4 doors, but different technologies, more sensors, different materials, but it's the same car. If I looked at it, it's a car, I know it. But if you saw a product and you didn't recognize it from the first time, and then you discovered it's a car, oh, it's a car, but it's using electromagnetic field to fly, and it's a creativity. How we can give the same example on mobile phones, so it will be more easier for you to understand. If you remember in 2000, 2001, 2002, Nokia was dominating in the entire world. And what was Nokia was doing? Innovation. Improving, but still the same mobile. What does it mean? Antenna, folding or not folding, buttons, small screen. Camera, innovation, adding more features. Until Apple came with the creativity, the mobile in a way that never existed before. Entire screen. Is this a mobile? How to use it? Where is the buttons? Here you are seeing existing technologies, but turning the mobile phone in a way you never saw before. That's why Apple killed everyone. Since 2007, when Apple announced their first iPhone, no big step creativity happened in this industry. Creativity, I can see creativity happen more in consuming products, in home appliances. It happened a lot. Some products you will find it suddenly turn it in very different way and different function. This is creativity, but innovation, same product, same way of functionality, but improving, more sensors, more technologies.
Interesting. That's a really interesting kind of perspective on innovation and creativity. And where do you think maybe there's a kind of a hybrid of innovation and creativity then? For example, the example of the iPhone, which also reminds me of the kind of example of the iPod, the way that you listen to audio and music, for example, from the CD player, the Walkman and stereo, for example. And then obviously the scroll wheel and the way that you interface and interact. So is the technology affords innovative kind of a user experience and usability, but obviously the creativity would then be the kind of the manifestation and the form and the overall representation of that particular product.
Yes, the iPod, exactly a perfect example of what I just said. The iPod, when it came, it was the time of removing the CD players and the rising of MP3 players. And the iPod suddenly came and changing the game by making this iPods with this strange wheel. And it's not only strange, it's a wheel that you never saw, but you can use from the first use. Easily, intuitive product, very strange. I think the iPod, one of the biggest products that achieved intuitive and creativity in the history, especially the first one with this wheel and the new user experience. It was something new, achieving creativity, something using current technologies, but in a way we never saw before. But yes, it's something new, but we all knows how to use it without manual. I can still remember the first time I used iPod. I didn't waited for someone to explain to me. I knew how to use it from the first time. I can remember, and it was something. Wow, it's a very good feeling, very good feedback from this wheel. I enjoy it very well. But yes, it's creativity, design language, intuitive. It's achieved very well in this product. It's a very good example.
Amazing. A comment coming in from Tony Smith. He just following up at the end, reminding if you could kindly send the presentation. He said he thanks you for the talk and the presentation. He really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Tony. Yes, for sure. I will send it to you after this. Thank you.
Amazing. And I think now with no further questions, I think it's a great opportunity to thank yourself and conclude with Dr. Ahmed and obviously all of the guests from Jamia EFFAT as well, EFFAT University. Thanks for taking out obviously your time and joining us tonight. It was a brilliant talk, fascinating, great kind of mind-opening as well in certain aspects, and a fantastic Q&A session as well from all of us at Middlesex University London, product design, design engineering. We thank you all for your time and for the talk as well.
Thank you so much. It's a great pleasure for me. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Amazing. For all of the students, participants, Dr. Ahmed's details were sent to your emails ahead of the talk, including links to the Linktree, the Instagram, the LinkedIn. So definitely feel free to browse and connect. And to conclude, guys, keep an eye out on your emails for the details of the speaker and the links to the talk next week as well. So until then, stay well, stay safe, and thank you, guys.